now, Adam.
Hey, what's up, Sitch? How are you doing this morning?
So there was a pretty interesting / crazy interview between Piers Morgan and Kyle Rittenhouse that happened the other day that we should watch.
Wow, that's cool. I wish we had some interesting facts to share with our audience about Kyle Rittenhouse.
I heard from someone somewhere in the ether that you might have some interesting facts to front load us about with Kyle Rittenhouse.
I did. Look, I did a little research before we were watching this video, this response video that a lot of people wanted us to watch, and I found out some things I didn't know about Kyle Rittenhouse. I didn't know that he grew up poor, struggling with his mom from time to time. He also, right now, is financially struggling. He's working, but he's struggling to pay the bills. He's still working with his attorney from the actual trial, and the attorney wrote the foreword of his book that he's selling right now.
His attorney, we listened to this conversation. His attorney was interviewed, and he was saying that a lot of people think that Kyle is just like rolling the dough because he got a lot of money donated to him, and not like that's all basically gone. It sounded like that's what the attorney was saying. It's all been used to protect himself and legal fees and everything.
All of that money is gone. So he's basically struggling to get by. He's put out this book. I mean, it's hard to say whether or not the book will be successful. I don't know. I mean, I hope it is successful for his financial health, obviously. But he's still working with the attorney, and the attorney is dealing with civil litigation. I guess the Huber family is suing him. Grosskreutz is suing him, and the attorney thinks that maybe there's also going to be litigation from the Rosenbaum estate, which is, I mean, kind of lame, right?
Yeah,
I mean, yes. He also mentioned in that interview that one of the things that he tried to get in the trial, we all know that Rosenbaum had kind of a shady past. There was some sexual assaults to minors. He tried to get that in the trial, but obviously it didn't get in. So. Mm-hmm. And then you did a little research and found out that Piers Morgan had a bad take on Kyle Rittenhouse. He said Kyle Rittenhouse was a wannabe Rambo, I think was.
Yeah, well, it's like a mixed bag. It's a weird. So this was from 2021 when the trial was going on. And he said the negative, Piers Morgan said that Kyle Rittenhouse is an idiot. He called him a deluded, naive, dumb 17-year-old kid with aspirations to be a wannabe Rambo. But the flip side of that is he also said that Kyle Rittenhouse was completely legally allowed to do everything that he did, that it made sense for him to be found innocent, and that there was no evidence that he was racist, and that all the people calling him racist were lying, stupid idiots, including Joe Biden, and that should not have been the narrative. And he even called out by name, he's called out Joy Reid as the biggest race-baiting host on U.S. cable news.
Well, he nailed that one, didn't
he? So kind of a mixed bag opinion on Kyle there. So
that's good to know going into this. So a lot of people wanted us to respond to this interview. I think Piers asked him some uncomfortable questions. So I guess let's just get into it.
My next guest is one of the most controversial figures in recent American history, Kyle Rittenhouse. Pleaded self-defense when he was charged with murdering 2 people during the Wisconsin Black Lives Matter riots of 2020. And the jury agreed. For some, Rittenhouse has become a heroic standard-bearer for the Second Amendment and Americans' rights to bear arms. For others, he got off because of privilege. Now, 2 years after his trial ended, he's written a book called Acquitted to tell his side of the story. And he joins me now live from Florida. Kyle Rittenhouse, thank you very much indeed for joining me. First of all, let me just ask you, if you had your time again, would you, age 17, have put an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle around your neck and gone purposefully down to where these protests were happening, knowing what was going to transpire?
Well, Piers, thank you for having me on. With hindsight being 20/20 as it always is, no, I wouldn't have gone, but that doesn't change the fact that I was attacked and I defended myself. I was there to help people and provide first aid, and that's what I did. I'm on video that night providing first aid and helping people, and then being ambushed and cornered and forced to use my rifle to defend myself.
So I guess a lot is going to be, we covered Piers talking about the Israel-Gaza stuff, and I thought he was doing some good interviews. We did a good interview with Norman Finkelstein, kind of, challenging him. But I feel like this question and basically this interview is just like, why are you asking these like really silly questions?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
would you, like, if you had a time machine, would you not do the thing that caused your entire life to fall apart? Well, I mean, obviously, right?
Well, I think he's a little tainted by that perception that this was a kid that wanted to play Rambo. So I think he's trying to
Hmm.
basically prove to himself that this kid had that goal and that goal backfired on him. But I don't think that was Kyle Rittenhouse's goal at all.
No,
Like that's
no.
a mainstream media narrative that's been promoted to Kyle Rittenhouse's disadvantage. I mean, I feel like he was there legitimately to act as a security guard to make sure that the used car lot wasn't burned down a second night.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I were to be charitable to Pierce and say, well, he's asking the question because he wants to show the people who think that he got off on it or that he enjoyed killing people or whatever, that's not the case. But my counter to my own good faith, uh, question would be, well, the people that believe that aren't going to believe anything Kyle says anyway.
Yeah,
So
that's a
what's
good
the
point.
point? Like, because who's going to answer that question and say like, oh yeah, I would have totally gone there and shot, three people. Like, who's going to say that?
I wouldn't have done anything differently.
Right. Yeah. No one's going to say that.
Yeah.
You killed 2 people and you wounded a third. How do you feel about that?
Oh my gosh. What's the point of that question?
It is to see if he has any remorse.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I guess the only point of this interview is to just generate like clicks, right? To try to generate some viral moment. It's like, oh my God, Piers Morgan asked Kyron House if he regrets killing people.
Look,
I mean, like,
if someone breaks into my house and I kill that mofo, look, I'm
mhm.
not going to regret it. Like, get the hell out of my house. So I just look, that's the way I look at this Kyle Rittenhouse situation. Everyone is like, oh, these people were just innocent protesters. No, they were trying to attack him. They were trying to assault him. They were trying to kill him.
No,
Look,
right.
I have no remorse for that. Look, kill criminals that try to assault you.
Listen,
Do it.
you're not a good person to be in this situation. That's a terrible answer to give on the Piers Morgan show. Okay. You have to say, listen, I feel really bad about what happened. I wish I didn't have to use deadly force to protect my life, but I had to. And I had to make that decision at that moment.
Yeah, but I'm not going to sit around and think, oh, wouldn't it have been great if I didn't have to kill those people that tried to kill me?
I agree.
Like I
That's
wouldn't
why,
be
right.
having some existential crisis about it years later because
Sure.
the internet tried to turn these people into heroes. I'd be
Sure.
like, oh, wouldn't it be great if they actually were heroes and didn't try to kill me?
Well, I mean, listen, if he gave that answer, it'd definitely be a more interesting answer than the answer he's going to give.
Look,
There'd definitely
I've,
be something interesting to talk about there. So,
yeah, pardon me.
Kyle, call
Pardon
Adam.
me.
He can be your press agent. Okay. He's going to be your press coach. He's got some good answers. Put him in the game, coach. Adam's got some good answers for this interview. All right.
Look, do you disagree with me? I mean,
No, I do agree with you. You don't want to.
look, if someone tries to mug you and you kill them,
Right.
you're not going to feel guilty about it. You'd be like, hey, don't mug people.
Right. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah, learn your lesson.
Right. And well, here's the thing. It's like there's like this weird,
especially gross groots. Oh my God, I'm so enraged just thinking about gross groots. That guy tried to shoot him in the head.
Yes. There's a moral intuition, I think, at play here, where people say, oh, well, he's justified, but he should still feel like not remorse that he shouldn't have done it, but like a sense of remorse in terms of like, I wish, like the good person, the good soldier is like, I will, defend my country, my life, my friends, but I will still feel bad when I like have to take someone's life. That's kind of like the moral intuition, I think, that we're kind of operating under, or most people are kind of operating under. And you're like taking a sledgehammer to that, saying, no, if you come at me, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna light you up, and I'm never gonna think about you for another second.
Look,
I
I
mean,
feel
like,
it's your moral obligation never to think about them again.
there you go. I love it.
That's my intuition. That's my moral intuition. You want to be a criminal? You want to engage in criminal activity? Look, I'm not going to feel sorry for you. I'm not going to stay up at night.
Well,
Piers Morgan can defend you on his show, but I'm not going to think about you.
Well, I think if Kyle was leveraging this to become a streamer, then that should be the answer that he would get. Okay. Because that's the kind of answer that would generate a lot of, like, that's the answer that Pierce is dying for. He wants that answer because that clip goes viral. Okay. If Kyle goes off on the rant you just gave, that's the viral clip. You hear what Kyle Rittenhouse said about the people killed? Oh my, the country would be torn asunder. Okay. The right would be like, Kyle Rittenhouse is our hero. Oh my God. All the people on the right would be like bending over backwards to, like, suck him off. And everyone on the left would be like, this guy's a evil racist terrorist. It'd be like insane. It'd be so wild if that happened.
Have you ever seen the movie A Time to Kill?
No.
Really?
No.
When Samuel L. Jackson's on the stand and he says,
wait. Yes, he deserved to die. And I hope he's burning in hell.
and I hope, yeah, that's
Yes.
my attitude right there.
Okay, there you go.
Hell yeah. I hope he dies and I hope he burns in hell. Look, he tried to kill me. What do you want from me?
Right.
Look, if you're in the mood to lay down and die, Piers Morgan, feel free. Turn your gun over to the 5-time pedophile, insane psychopath, and see what he does with it. Okay,
right.
If that's your moral intuition, Piers, have at it. You know what's going to happen then? Guess what? No more Piers Morgan show.
There you go.
Look, it's insane to me that people have made these people out to be American heroes because they showed up and tried to burn a car lot down. Why is this the narrative? Look, I am legitimately pissed here.
Let's see what Kyle's answer is, okay, to this question.
Well, Piers, they attacked me. They left me with no choice. I have nightmares every night of being attacked and being ambushed and them trying to steal my gun and pointing guns in my face. It's not an easy thing to do, but I did what I had to do to stay alive, and if I didn't, I would be dead.
Yeah, listen, you were acquitted, and many in America believe that you had the absolute right to defend yourself. I'm just curious, on a human level, you're very young even now. What are you, 20 years old now?
Yes, sir.
And you've killed 2 human beings and wounded a third. I just wonder how that feels.
You killed 2 criminals trying to kill you.
Don't
you feel sorry for those criminals?
You snuffed out the light of 2 candles forever. You cut the life strands of 2 human beings. Yes, one of them was a psychopath pedophile who was trying to kill you, and the other one was trying to beat you up and take your gun and let you get stomped on by the mob and also maybe kill you. But how does it feel? Do you toss and turn in the night? Do you look off in the sunset dreaming of an alternate future? Have you seen that movie, Kyle? Have you seen that movie Alternate Earth, where that woman is drunk driving and she kills an entire family, and her whole life she just wishes there was an alternate Earth version, or that she didn't do that, and then there is because it's a really crappy art house film? Is that what you want, Kyle? Do you want your life to be a crappy art house film?
Hell no. I'm happy to be alive.
He should have said.
I hope his book has an audiobook because I'm dying. I hope he at least lights up in the book.
I bet he does not. There's no way.
Oh, man.
No way. This is what Kyle should have done. He should have stood up and said, you know what I say to Rosenbaum and Grosskreutz and Huber? Sucks to suck, suckers! And he flicked them both off, double flick off and then just moonwalked off the frame, off the shot.
Right.
He probably shouldn't do that. That would not look good for his civil case. That's probably the thing that I don't think we're probably not considering here. Because your answer is a really good answer. It's not a good answer for a civil case, probably.
Oh my.
You show that answer to a jury, they're not going to be very happy. They might not be happy about that. They might be like,
I guess you're right, since he is in civil litigation.
Right. Watch, the second the civil case is over, he's like, "Woo! Fucking murk those boys!" Bam, 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 bam. Starts doing cartwheels.
Okay. So you're thinking his attorney has him on a leash here.
I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Oh well.
I don't think that's an appropriate question to ask how it feels. It's not an easy thing to do. It's something I live with every single day. It's nightmares I have. It's something that I have to deal with. I have to deal with the PTSD and the trauma from having to do that.
Right. I mean, but it seems to me your emotions are more about you and your trauma because your life was being threatened and that side of it, rather than the question I'm asking, which is simply on a human level. How do you feel about being so young and yet having on the record for the rest of your life now that you took the lives of two people? Regardless.
This is such a bad question. It's such a stupid question. That's really just after like the good showings at Piers Morgan, this is a really disappointing step backwards into just like this emotional garbage pick pandering is what he's looking for. He's just like sifting through garbage, trying to like, I don't know, get Kyle to cry or something on TV, maybe. Like,
yeah, look, I don't agree with this soft on crime. Let's all empathize with the criminals that tried to kill you. I'm fundamentally against this.
Well, he's not even asking. He's saying like,
yes, he
how does
is.
It feel that you? This is weird. He started to ask that question, but then he stopped midway and changed it to a different question, where he's like, "How does it feel that you have on the books that you killed people at this young age?" It's like, well, what? How am I supposed to answer that question? It's a stupid question.
How does it feel that you killed two homicidal maniacs that tried to murder you? It feels fucking great. That's how it feels.
Did you see my aim? It was really spot on.
Look, the proper answer is it feels great to be alive, Piers.
There you go.
Yes.
Of the circumstances.
And like I just said, it's something I deal with every day. I deal with the PTSD and the trauma and the nightmares. It's not easy to deal with it.
Your book, presumably you're going to make money from this book. Do you feel comfortable making money from this, which ultimately is a tragic story? I repeat, you were acquitted. There's no reason you can't do a book. But do you feel comfortable making a lot of money out of essentially what in the end was an incident that cost the lives of other humans?
See I hate Piers Morgan now. This is so insane. This is so insane. Look, he's basically, this is the things that would make this story a tragedy are Kyle Rittenhouse was wrongly arrested for this. Kyle Rittenhouse was put through a trial for this. It was totally unnecessary. Kyle Rittenhouse has been maimed by the media, totally lied about, smeared, turned into a villain, villainized a 17-year-old boy. All of the things that make this a tragedy are not even being mentioned by Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan right now asking this question is thinking the tragedy is these two innocent arsonists were basically killed as they were trying to assault a young man running from a murderous mob. To him, that's the tragedy. Oh my God, such a tragedy. This is insane. This is Bizarro World, Sitch.
Not good.
Oh, I'm so pissed.
Well, I'm not writing the book to make money. I'm writing the book to tell the story of what happened. I'm trying to change the narrative that media keeps putting out there that I'm some type of white supremacist, racist person, when that's just not true. I'm a 20-year-old kid who was put in a situation to where I was forced to defend myself, and I'm writing to put that into a book. I wrote a story and put that in a book so I can share that with everybody so they can understand what I went through, how my childhood was growing up, and the difficulties I deal with today. And you can check out the book at rittenhousebook.org if you want to read it and learn the truth for yourself.
How do you feel that you became a hero to many on the far right, kind of made you their poster boy?
Well, Piers, I'm not a hero. I did what I had to do to defend myself. There are countless Americans every day that defend themselves, and it's not a heroic thing to do. It doesn't make you a villain, but it doesn't make you a hero. It's doing the right thing to stay alive. If I didn't defend myself, I wouldn't be here talking today.
Look, and Piers is like, yeah, who cares?
I don't think that was a good answer. He should have been like, yes, I am a hero. I was trying to defend the private property of first-generation immigrants to this country, Piers. First-generation immigrants, who, by the way, were not white, okay? Non-white, people of color. I don't know if you heard the term, Piers, okay? People of color. They're an oppressed minority, and they're first-generation immigrants. They came to this country to live the American dream, and they were living it. They started a business. They had their own car lot. They had multiple car lots. They were living the American dream. And what happened? Because someone died that they had nothing to do with at all. Total psychopathic, evil pieces of crap came to their businesses that they worked hard and destroyed them. Destroyed their hard work, stole all the time and energy that they had invested in these businesses, stole right from them. People say, oh, insurance, a lot of insurance, if not most insurance, doesn't pay for riots and things of that nature. So a bunch of horrible people, despicable people came and unleashed chaos and violence on completely random, innocent people who had nothing to do with anything. And I felt it was my duty as a good American to not only protect them and protect their property. People say, Kyle, is it worth to kill someone to protect property? And I say, no. I wasn't there that day to protect property. I was there that day to protect the American dream. And you know what? Yes, it is worth killing, and it is worth dying to protect the American dream, Pierce. Something you should know about.
I think he's like British or something. So
yeah, but he worked.
He's
in
probably
America
still salty.
I know he is still salty, right? But he worked in America for some period of time, so he should understand.
That was beautiful, and I do think that would have been a much better response. He should have said, Piers, you don't respect private property? What are you, a socialist?
I know you're a Brit, so you don't really get it. But let me lay it out for you. Here in America, what America's all about. Piers.
Yes.
And then Kyle should have pulled out a gun and shot in the air afterwards.
Oh, yeah. 2 guns. Double shooting.
There you go. Totally goes Yosemite Sam. And a bald eagle lands on his shoulder.
Oh, my God. That's insane.
17 at the time. You were too young to legally acquire the gun that you used.
That's not true.
It's not true?
That is not true. Wisconsin statute says a person between the ages of 16 and 17 can carry a long rifle with a barrel longer than 16 inches. That's Wisconsin law, and the judge dismissed that charge.
Okay.
This is how you know Piers is completely out of his depth, because he doesn't even know that. Well, all Piers knows is the mainstream media narrative. That's all he knows.
Well, no, but this is what's so weird. In his article from 2021, he says this. He does know that. Or he did know it 2 years ago.
Oh, he must have forgot.
He forgot.
Wow.
Okay, so you were... so let me ask you, look, I'm in the country right now, and I've talked about this many times, both here and in America, and I've learned Americans want to handle their own gun culture the way they want to handle it. I respect that. But let me ask you, do you think it's right that 17-year-olds in America, in Wisconsin, should be able to carry around semi-automatic rifles like an AR-15?
Our founding fathers were very intentional when they wrote the Constitution. They didn't put an age limit on how old you have to be to exercise the Second Amendment.
But they did say it would be part of a well-regulated militia.
They also didn't put an age in it, and we have the right to bear arms. It's our right as Americans to possess these arms, to carry these firearms, and to use them to protect ourselves.
How do people treat you, Carl, when you
I mean, I think that's part of the problem here with Pierce's questions. Like, he's very anti-gun, so this whole situation is probably like, triggering that whole thought in him anyway.
you walk around now?
Well, there is some harassment. I'm constantly having photos taken of me. I'm constantly receiving death threats on social media. And it's just something that is part of my life now. Having pictures taken of me everywhere I go, and the constant harassment and death threats.
Obviously, by doing a book and promoting it in the way that you are on national television around the world, you're going to make yourself even more famous, infamous, whatever you want to call it. Is that something you're aware of, that you're deliberately, consciously doing that?
I'm a
I mean, he's got to eat. This is why I wanted to bring up the stuff in the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
F you, Piers. Like, the kid's got to eat. What do you think?
Yeah. But, but that's the thing, is that it looks bad, I guess, or it could look bad if Kyle says, listen, Piers, these fucking pieces of shit are suing me civilly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I need money. I need money to pay lawyers to protect me from these a-holes and their a-hole families who are suing me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the truth. But I mean, I guess he can't really say that, but
Right.
yeah, very sad situation here.
aware that it's going to bring some more notoriety to my name and make me more known, but I think it's worth that risk to share my story and share what happened, just in the hopes that maybe somebody else who goes through a similar situation or faces other trials in their life, they can read it and they can understand that they're not alone and that this happens to other people with the misjustice that does happen in America.
Okay, Carl Rittenhouse, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
There you
Well,
go.
you didn't even let him sign off.
Terrible
yeah.
interview, Piers. Jeez.
Yeah,
These firearms, and to use them.
This was basically total garbage. So, yeah, look, Kyle is, I mean, he's doing the best he can. He's never been very good in these interviews. Obviously,
No.
he's uncomfortable in the interviews. His attorney probably gives him 1,000 things to remember or not to say. He can't just go. It's very difficult for him to be natural. The only time that I felt he was natural was when he was responding to the charge about the firearm being illegal. He seemed very comfortable with that. But yeah, this is just a completely messed up situation. And man, I feel bad for the kid. It's funny because so many people on social media, like we're going to get a bunch of people just responding to this video thinking that we're like gun happy, crazy right wingers. Look, I'm not. I think it's morally reprehensible to ask somebody who has defended himself from being murdered how they feel about the person that tried to murder them. It's just, please, give me a break. Give me a break. Sitch, you have any final thoughts?
You said it very well.
Okay, I guess we'll end it there. Hi, you just listened to a Sitch and Adam recorded video. That's right, we're doing Monday through Friday deep dive recorded videos now. And of course, we're still doing our live streams. Our live streams are on Sunday and Tuesday starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And you can super chat us, or you can join the channel. Subscribe to this channel right here to watch the live show or watch more of our awesome deep dive videos.